I bet you think you're tired because you're doing too much, but that's not what's draining you. You don't lose energy from effort. You lose energy from carrying the things that don't fit you anymore. So today, I want to help you identify what is draining you. Because if you don't see the drain, nothing you try is going to work. And I know that if you're here, you're watching this, it's probably not because you're lazy. You're capable, you show up, you handle your responsibilities. Most of my clients do. But yet, something still feels off though, doesn't it? That's because the problem isn't how much you're doing. It's what you're carrying while you do it. Here's the truth that you may not have heard yet. Energy isn't something that you create. It's something you protect. And right now, your energy is being drained quietly. It's not by chaos. It's not by emergencies that are going on. But it's by the things that you've learned to tolerate over time. And they've built up. And let me be very clear with you. A drain is anything that consistently costs you more energy than it gives back. Think about that. And it's not once, it's not occasionally, it's that consistently. And a lot of times it's under the surface and we don't realize it. Because most drains, they don't announce themselves. They hide inside these routines that we've normalized. Roles that you've outgrown. Those thoughts you keep replaying. So let's get after this. There's 4 drains that are common. And the first one is unresolved internal loops. So this one lives in your head. It's the conversation you keep replaying in the shower. You know, that decision that you keep saying that you'll make soon. The thing that you know you need to address, but you haven't. See, every time your mind goes back to it, what it's happening is it's pulling energy. Not because it's hard, but because it's unfinished. See, your brain treats unfinished things like this alarm that never turns off. Always going off, always going off. There's no snooze button on it. And you might not feel stressed. You just feel tired. Well, that's a drain. That is something that is draining you. And the second one is commitments that no longer match you. At some point you said yes. You committed to something. To a role, to an expectation, said yes to being the reliable one. And at the time it made sense, of course, but you've grown. And that commitment didn't. So now every time it shows up on your calendar, your body tightens. You feel that feeling, don't you? I mean, you don't hate it, you just don't fit it anymore. Well, when something requires you to push down who you are just to keep going, that too is a drain. Even if it looks good on the outside, it is still draining you. And the third one is emotionally expensive relationships. And this is where a lot of people struggle. So pay attention. This one, it's easier to recognize once you know what to look for. See, after some conversations, you feel lighter, right? But then after some other ones, you feel heavier. Nothing dramatic really happened. No argument, no blow up possibly. Or maybe that is there. But you walk away feeling off. Like something doesn't feel good about it. That's because some relationships, they cost you energy to maintain them. Therefore, taking energy from you. Not because the other person's bad, don't get me wrong, but because you're constantly adjusting and explaining and you're holding back. You're not able to be authentic. And if you have to shrink, embrace, and armor up to stay connected, that is a drain. And then the fourth one is identity friction. This one runs deeper than the others. It shows up when your outer life doesn't match your inner truth. When you're doing what's expected, but not what feels right. You might look successful, capable, put together, but inside there's like this resistance, right? You're playing a role instead of living aligned. And that quiet tension that you feel, that low level pressure that you just can't explain, please know that's not weakness. That's your system telling you that something needs to change. And the reason it's been so hard to see is simple. Your drains are familiar. And familiar feels safer than the unknown, even when it's costing you. So instead of removing the drain, you've been trying to compensate. More discipline, more effort, more pushing, grinding. Well, that never works long term. So listen, I want you to do this tonight. And there's no journaling, no overthinking, okay? Just answer these 3 questions honestly. And you'll be able to start identifying the drains. What consistently leaves you feeling heavier afterwards? Another one is, where do you feel quiet resentment? And what are you avoiding that keeps resurfacing? Those answers aren't flaws, they're signals. Your system's already telling you what's draining you. There's a reason discernment comes before direction. Clarity will always precede peace. So you don't need to fix everything today. You just need to stop pretending that you don't see it. This step isn't about cutting anything out yet. It's just about honesty. Kind of runs hand in hand with the first one that we talked about, which was recognizing reality. See, identification always comes before the elimination. There's steps to this process. But next, we'll talk about how to let go, especially without blowing up your life. If this landed for you, please don't rush past it. Stay engaged, sit with it. If you want, leave one word in the comments. Just one. That represents what's draining you right now. And there's no explanation needed. Don't feel like you have to. Just know that clarity starts with honesty. And we'll build the rest from here. So make sure you subscribe, stay in tune, hit that notification bell. That way you know when the next one comes out. And we're going to continue to work through the resilient method. And remember, you don't rebuild by adding more. You rebuild by removing what no longer belongs. That's the process. And then we get to a point where we can implement and things can be different. And that's where the real transformation begins happening. So, grateful for you joining. Stay tuned. We'll keep pushing through this method and get you onto a better you.